in Istanbul, respectively. In Turkey, remember Turkey, especially during the 1800s, was probably a center in the entire world of the Torah. The Torah, in of itself, had the great rabbis at that point in time, including the Rabbi Pelagian dynasty and many, many other great rabbis. It was very, very much in Turkey in of itself. Now, he would learn under great rabbinic auspices while he was younger. There was a famous rabbi, Harav Yitzchak Halevi. He would learn under his 1852. This would have been about 15 years before he passed away. He would be appointed head of the Jewish court in Istanbul, in Kuştāt, which was a huge, very, very prominent position. Remember, over there at that point in time, to be of Bet Din, even part of the Bet Din of Turkey, was, let's say, a galaxy of position at that point in time. To be the head of the Jewish court in himself, bring a huge responsibility, huge correspondence with many of the great global rabbis, and especially all throughout Turkey. Now, it's actually, I think, come what the year 1857, he will be actually appointed at that stage in time as one of the two rabbis of the city of Constantinople. This was, he would serve, I think, as a rabbi inside a very prominent neighborhood inside the area called Konjok, I believe that was called, inside the city. That was another center of Torah learning in of itself. And over there, he would give various different drashot sermons inside the synagogue over there, inside the Beit Knesset, and he would be the stamp of authority, let's say, with regards to different Jewish laws, approval of different rulings at that point in time. In Turkey, there was many different outside influences coming in where they would have to bring in gezerot, tekanot, different rulings, and he would, at that point in time, correspond with various different great sages of that point in time on various different matters, including the famous rabbi, Harav Shlomo Kimchi. He was a rabbi that he would very much correspond with in much of his point in time. Now, he passed away on Chaf Adar, I think Adar Aleph it happened to be. There was two Adars in that year, respectively. That was in the year 1867. We're talking about, from time recording, about approximately 158 years ago. He would be buried actually in Istanbul, in Kuştāt, respectively. Now, it's actually interesting. There was five famous rabbis, including Rabbi Chaim Pelagian and Rabbi Raphael Bitran. They would very much speak about him and give a hesped within regards to him. I think they would actually accompany him and pay him the highest levels of respect. Now, there were great books, I believe, that were printed after he passed away, including the famous book called the Porat Yosef. Now, the Porat that came about, and which I recommend everyone to look into, was gatherings within regards to various different answers within regards to halachic questions in of itself. And there was a book, the Yomer Yosef, which entered with various different drashot, let's say sermons, and tshuvot, answers, which I don't think were actually part of the Porat Yosef, made it into the Porat Yosef book in of itself, but would at a later stage of time would actually come inside this book. Now, the Porat Yosef was a great book. I believe it was actually printed in the year 1868. So this would have been, but he passed away in 1867. So that would have been only about a year after he passed away, I believe. So that's very interesting enough. You can actually see the book there, especially on the Google Books. I think the book actually comes about. That was the great work of Rabbi Yosef Alfandari. And that I would recommend everyone to look into those books. I believe there was also, if I'm not mistaken, a book of the name Vayikra Yosef. Also, I think it was printed in the year 1877, the Vayikra Yosef book was. Once again, I think that was very much connected to Rabbi Yosef Alfandari. And sorry, that would have been 1877. That would have been about 10 years after he passed away, I believe, this book. I think you can actually find this, especially in the National Library of Israel. They've got documents of all different great books that were about various different times, where I think he would actually add towards that. You can actually see the preface of the book in of itself. Online, I think it will have drashot, including the of Shabbat Hagadol, the Shabbat Kala, for example, Shabbat Shuvah, Shabbat Halbasha, various different correspondences with regards to those awesome Shabbatot. Let's explore a few of like the highlights with regards to the books. I think inside the Yomer Yosef book, for example, I believe the part of the Drashot Hagdol, he'll give a message saying, "Melamed zchut harikanim shebIsrael shemachzikim b'limud hatinokot." How we should give merit to even the people that might be empty with regards to Torah in themselves. Melamed gdola hatzdaka hanasit al yedei rabim. This is another teaching from the Shabbat Gadol in of itself. And also another nice teaching is Mebe'et Tovim Hashanim Bitchavrim Yachad Yitnotsu Orot Ze Beze. and מלמד זכות השירה בהלל גדול על הניסים נמשך לדורות הבאים. We should actually praise God for the different miracles he's going to do for the future generations. This is something that's nice. It comes, I think, in page 21 of the book Vayomer Yosef in of itself. And just one last added, let's just say, sentence within regards a teaching to the book, which is from the Shabbat Kala, a teaching from there inside this book of the Vayomer Yosef. I think it's on the 29th page, on the second part, which is from the book from 1977. 1877. Mevi haminhag. We are it's Chatan receiving the Torah from his Torah. So friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. We've rated over 100 Turkish rabbis. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the videos, and if you feel anyone is interested in watching these videos, please share the videos to those people also, and please subscribe to the channel. We're coming close to 6,100 subscribers already, and we're learning about the great rabbis. We're a community here. No community like us learning about the great Oriental